Hello, thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cute 2-layer bow. For this bow, I am using 2.5-inch wired ribbon. I cut my first piece about 1 yard long, and I'm going to make an 8-inch tail. So measure out 8 inches and then pinch like this. That'll be my tail. Now I'm going to make my first loop. I'm going to measure it out 8 inches. And I'm going to pinch again, like pinch up the ribbon. And where I gathered the ribbon, I'm going to bring those together, and that's going to create the first loop. So I have a loop here, and then my tail. Now we're going to do a loop on the other side, and again, I'm going to measure out 8 inches. That way the loops are the same size. Gather the ribbon, bring it together, hold it. I hold it all with my right hand, fluff out my loops. So I have 2 loops and 2 tails. Next, I'm going to take a piece of wire that I folded in half so it has a little loop. I'm going to bring the ends around the bow and up through that loop. I'm going to tie it around the center of the bow and just do a simple single knot on the back side. And then when we make the next layer, it's just going to attach right onto the back of this bow. So I'm going to set this off to the side and grab the ribbon. Now for this next layer, I want it a little bit bigger than the top layer. So a 10-inch tail is what I'm measuring out. I'm going to pinch the ribbon. And then I'm going to make 10-inch loops. So measure out 10 inches, I'm going to gather it, and I'm going to make my loop. Now, this is going to be the back bigger layer. So this one will have 4 loops. So again, measure out 10. I want all the loops the same size. So this right here is exactly like we just did that last layer of the bow, but we're going to keep going, and I'm going to add an additional loop onto each side. So I'm going to measure out another 10 inches. Gather it. And I'm going to add it right into my same, like I hold everything with my right hand. And now I need to add a loop to the other side of the bow. So again, measure out 10 inches, gather it, and then loop it around that left side. And I'm going to hold it with my right hand. And I'm just pinching it all tight together. This is going to be the back layer, so it doesn't have to be laying perfectly. We're just going to tie this right onto the back side of that first bow we made and use the same wire to just double knot it on. Okay, so now I'm going to bring the tails together so I can cut them evenly. I'm going to fluff up the loops a little bit and make sure the bow is looking the way it should. Then I'm going to take the ribbon on the roll and I'm going to cut about 5 or 6 inches, and I'm going to use that to make a piece that's going to cover where the wire is. It's going to go around the center of the bow. So I wanted to use the same ribbon so that it matches. You also could use a narrow ribbon that's like a gray or an ivory, something that matches whatever ribbon you're using. Since this is a 2.5-inch width, I'm going to cut the piece and then I'm going to fold it and like kind of glue it in so that it makes it a thinner strip to go across the center. I almost cut it the wrong spot, but I'm going to measure it out longer. Sometimes if it's smaller, I can cut the other direction, but we're going to have to make it longer. So like I said, 5 or 6 inches should be enough to go around the whole bow. This step is up to you. You can pull out the ribbon or the wire out of the ribbon if you'd like, or you can leave it in. It's not going to make a difference. I just pulled it out because it was already kind of sticking out. I folded it and then measured. I just wanted to make sure it was about a 1/2 inch wide. You can use 1/2 inch width of ribbon, 5/8 of an inch ribbon, 3/8. As long as it's narrow, it should work. It just has to cover the wire. So I make sure that there's a piece of the wire going out each side of the bow, and then I'm going to add this ribbon around the center. And I want to get it as tight as I can get it around the bow. If it's too loose, it kind of makes the bow like flop a little bit. If it's nice and tight, the loops stay perkier. So I kind of pull it really tight and then I fluff everything up really good. And then I am going to cut the ribbon a little bit shorter, leaving about 1/2 inch, just enough to use hot glue to glue down each flap, just directly over that knot that we tied. Just be careful not to accidentally cut through your wire. You want to leave that on so that you can attach the bow onto your project, wreath, whatever you're making. All right, now that I've added the center ribbon on, I just kind of roll up the wire and just leave it tucked in there so it's out of the way. And now we're gonna start cutting the tails. So I always bring all the tails out and make sure they're equal in size on both sides. So like the back layer of the bow, those tails are 10 inches, the top layer is 8, but I want to just make sure they're even. So sometimes I trim them up. And then we're gonna do a dovetail cut on the end. So you're gonna see me fold the ribbon in half and then just cut it at an angle. This is one of my favorite styles of bows to make. They're great for gift baskets and wreaths and all kinds of stuff. I hope you guys love this video. Leave me a comment below. And yeah, thanks for watching.